There's a genre of content that I've made for quite a while, pretty often, where I'm insulting customers that are freaking out at customer service workers for a myriad of different reasons, slight inconveniences, or just a bunch of hogwash. I can't stand when someone has this meltdown and takes all of their frustration and anger out on customer service workers who are just doing their job and they've done nothing wrong. I cannot stand it whatsoever, so I've always made it a point to make a video insulting that customer melting down, making fun of them, and just pointing out why that kind of behavior is unacceptable. And I never really view that kind of content as a hot take or controversial at all. I feel like most sensible people should be on the side of the customer service worker here, because how could you ever be on the side of just the whiny little diaper-soiling baby that's freaking out over nothing? It doesn't really compute in my little noodle up here. So to me, this kind of content should never really be controversial, because anyone with a functioning frontal lobe should be able to recognize that this kind of childish, aggressive outburst over nothing directed at the employees is completely uncalled for. But we live in crazy times, and it seems like there's a lot of people paying a visit to Stupid Town, and, well, somehow a video I made 8 days ago has turned out to be quite divisive. And by that I mean there's one guy who's really upset about it, and it's the perfect example of something I was recently talking about, where everything is a debate now, even the safest things ever. That should never be a debate. So the video is the one I posted 8 days ago about this loser that was melting down in a McDonald's drive-thru because they refused to serve him a pup cup, which is a cup of whipped cream that he was going to give his dogs. And it's not an item they actually have on the menu, but it's something a few employees in the past had went ahead and given him. So he felt entitled to receiving it, and when he was told no, he wouldn't accept it. So he whipped out his phone and started recording his own Cringe compilation here, where he was just teary-eyed and really upset that they wouldn't give him the pup cup, so he started yelling at him, causing a commotion, making a scene, a big stink, over being told no to the pup cup. Eventually the cops had to be called and he got trespassed. So I posted a video making fun of this individual, and I thought that'd be the end of it, just wash my hands of it, just another piece of shit, some dumb asshole made a fool of himself, I made fun of him, standard procedure. I thought if anything would come from this, it'd be this guy making a video about me on Facebook saying that I work for the deep state shadow government trying to push the anti-pup cup agenda or something. But that's not what happened. What actually happened is a YouTuber took a huge issue with what I was saying about this guy being upset over the pup cup. And I know it's ridiculous, but I couldn't resist the urge to talk about it because it encapsulates exactly what I've been discussing again, where it seems everyone is so debate-brained, where everyone is looking for fights, even on subjects where it's really impossible to do that. Like this, there is no nuance to this topic. The customer here was wrong for getting aggressive and yelling when being told no. That business is completely in the right to tell him, no, we don't do pup cups, we will not serve you a pup cup, please leave. They were 100% in the right. The customer is wrong for the way he responded to that. There's really no way of even having a sound argument for the other side, and yet, for some reason, this guy makes a whole video about it on how wrong and stupid I am for it. Like, it just doesn't make sense how any situation now is somehow debatable. It's poison. It is a literal poison that has swept through the entire internet, and I think this is the best example of it I've seen.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to have a successful business, all you have to do is literally do the opposite of what Moist Critical is talking about in this video. He could not be more wrong if he tried. It's actually a miracle. I don't know if this is satire. I don't know if he's joking. It doesn't seem like it. He seems like he's pretty riled at this customer. But let me educate Charlie on something, because clearly he's living in a bubble.
I hope everyone's got their pen and paper out here for the lecture. We're about to be educated by one of society's brightest. This is clearly a being with supreme intellect, and he's being gracious enough to open that big brain of his up to us to share a little bit of his wisdom on how to run a successful business, or what a successful business should look like.
The reality is that if you're a business and you have competitors, and those competitors have a large social media presence as well, and all of them are sort of at an equilibrium, when you do something like, hey, we don't allow pup cups for dogs at McDonald's, doesn't even matter the guy's reaction. That, in and of itself, is bad for business.
It's just not bad for business at all. This is not an item that's on their menu. This is an item that some nice employees decided to give this particular asshole, and he immediately felt entitled to it for the rest of his fucking life. There is no obligation for a business to fulfill a request from a customer for something that they don't offer. This seems like it's derived from the saying, the customer's always right, which is only half of the full phrase there, but a lot of people bastardize that and use it as a way of making it seem like the customer is infallible, so every request they make needs to be fulfilled. If the customer asks the employee to dance, they gotta dance. If he asks them to jump, they have to ask how high. And I think that's super stupid.
The perception of that, dogs aren't welcome at McDonald's. Do you understand? You have to take your feelings out of it. I don't care how triggered you were that this guy was mildly irritated.
Mildly irritated, huh? Yelling through a drive-through window while recording yourself and waiting for the cops to come so you can continue to be heated the entire time is only a mild irritation. I am super curious to see this guy's outbursts, if he considers that mild. Also, the perception that dogs aren't welcome at McDonald's. Who the fuck in the entire world would see this video and be like, oh my god, it looks like dogs aren't welcome at McDonald's. They didn't give this guy a pup cup. Oh no, it's time to boycott McDonald's. Holy shit. You'd have to be legitimately taking a moron potion to think that for even an iota of a second. And yet somehow this guy presents it as like a sound argument that this is going to give the perception that this business is not welcoming to dogs. And it's a fucking restaurant. Dogs aren't even allowed inside. Unless, of course, it's like a service animal or something. So, I mean, if there was ever a business where you wouldn't want animals in there, it's probably a fucking food service business in the first place. But still, that's such a reach here. It's crazy.
That he was inconvenienced. And when she started freaking out and making the situation worse, and by the way, that woman should be fired. She is a detriment to business. You can't have somebody that disagreeable, that aggressive, that argumentative.
This portion is just downright delusional, and I have to wonder if he even watched the same video, and if he did, if his mind is somehow rotted and he's in fantasy land. He's describing the McDonald's manager as aggressive and freaking out. Let me go ahead and show you her whole interaction here, where she doesn't even raise her voice at him or anything, just tells him no, and then eventually says, give me a phone so I can call the police, which is a totally reasonable course of action since this fucking worm won't leave the drive-thru and it's holding up business.
Every time I come here.
They're not supposed to do pup cups. If they're doing it, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Do you not understand? It's just a little cup of whipped cream.
So I need you to leave.
Why won't you give me a pup cup?
Because we do not do pup cups at this establishment.
Bullshit. Came here yesterday and got a pup cup.
Somebody hand me the phone, please. Call the police.
She's calling the police.
Somehow the YouTuber says that she was the one freaking out and being aggressive. Meanwhile, the guy who starts yelling and hollering at the McDonald's drive-thru window was only mildly irritated. What the fuck?
All she would have had to say is, well, you know what? Usually, we don't allow, pup cups, but we're going to make an exception because your dog looks really good. I'm going to give it to you. That'll be $1.
Why? Just because you might live your life being treated like a doormat and let people walk all over you doesn't mean everyone else needs to live that way. Again, this is not an item that they offer on their menu. They don't need to bend over backwards and get spit on by a rude customer and then satisfy that request with a smile on their face. It's not bad for business to decline a douchebag like this.
That is the intelligent, effective way to handle a situation. Moist Critical is giving you very bad advice. If you take his brain-rotted advice, which is the advice I would expect from an entitled Twitch streamer, that is disaster.
This statement right here had me giggling and flared up my acid reflux because of how lacking in the self-awareness department it was. He called me an entitled Twitch streamer, thus expected this take from me. Meanwhile, he has the gall to proudly, publicly defend this loser who is freaking out because he didn't get the pup cup he believed he was entitled to, and he is so upset about that he is now trying to bully the establishment into serving it to him because he believes he deserves it. You goober, do you not recognize that you are actually defending textbook entitlement? Meanwhile, I am actively arguing against it, saying that entitlement is bad and unacceptable. How can you not piece this together? How are these dots not connecting in your brain?
You have to make that person feel special. It's why Chick-fil-A does so phenomenally well. Doesn't matter what time of day you go to Chick-fil-A, the person there is always going to make you feel special. They're going to make you feel nice. That's the purpose. Doesn't matter how they're feeling, doesn't matter what they may be going through, because at the end of the day, you're at a job. This fat, obnoxious old black lady made everything worse.
Jesus Christ, yikes. I cut out a bit of his rant here where he was trying to educate me on how businesses work. Retail is a people business, you gotta be good with people for it to succeed. And then he goes into why Chick-fil-A is successful. He gave us the secret formula there. The reason Chick-fil-A is successful, according to this individual, is because the workers are nice. I guess that's the only reason. Is that really the only reason? I mean, yeah, the Chick-fil-A workers are always super sweet, but if the food sucked, the business wouldn't be around very long. Because you still need a good product. And it's not like in this video, the workers did anything wrong. He takes a huge issue with the manager here for some reason when she did absolutely nothing wrong. She just said no to a customer's request for an item that they don't normally offer, which she has every right to do and should do. You shouldn't be encouraging customers to just come make all kinds of requests from your business for things that you don't actually have or normally do. That opens yourself up to a lot of problems. Like, it's not like anything was done wrong or unprofessionally. She handled it very well. She didn't raise her voice, didn't change her tone, wasn't disrespectful. And yet still somehow, this guy's portraying her as some kind of villain. And that they're not good at interacting with people. What they should have done is offered this guy a fucking cock massage as well, on top of giving him 10 pup cups. It's like, what are you talking about? This man is delusional. Absolutely delusional.
No. If some kids start pouring food on the floor and throwing milkshakes and acting a damn fool, then you can get upset. This guy was merely asking for an item, was a bit frustrated because he had gotten this item before and for some reason you're denying him, and then you go to threatening the police. If you're like critical and you think that that's a good idea, that's an appropriate way, you're retarded and you have no business being in any sort of industry.
Goodness gracious, with the way that this guy talks about the Pup Cup Crusader, I have to wonder if they're related or if they're dating or something, because he is so sweet and coddling to this asshole who was literally yelling in the video, but he just keeps saying, oh, you know, he was mildly frustrated, which is understandable because he came to this establishment in the past and got served the Pup Cup, and now he got mysteriously denied, so he was mildly irritated, which is not at all what happened. Like, you just have to watch the video that's being talked about, and you'll see that he's not just mildly frustrated or something. And if you watch the video, you'll know the reason the cops were called is because he refused to move after being told no for the 1000th fucking time. And if this guy's not going to move, what else are you supposed to do? You can't run a business when this guy is literally blocking it from being, you know, actively engaged with. And again, not everyone likes to be disrespected and walked all over. So I think it's perfectly reasonable to have this guy trespassed when he refuses to fucking leave. It's not like they called the cops just because he asked for a pup cup. It was much more than that. It was his behavior after the fact. But this guy just doesn't get that. And he's debating something that is impossible to debate without just making shit up, which is exactly what this guy's doing. Accusing the McDonald's manager of being aggressive and freaking out, saying she needs to be fired, is saying how bad for business all this is and how people might perceive McDonald's to be unsafe for dogs or unwelcoming to dogs or whatever. And then saying like the customer was totally in the right and was only mildly irritated, mildly frustrated. All you have to do is watch the video and see that he's just making that garbage up. He's just a bunch of fucking mumbo jumbo because he's trying to make an argument for something that you can't even argue for. And I feel like that is so common on the internet right now. Taking things that have no nuance and trying to interject nuance into them by just completely making shit up with it.
Let me tell you something. If I went to a fast food restaurant and I asked for a pup cup, and she's like, well, we're not doing pup cups. We don't do that. And I'm like, well, you know, I was here last week, and they sort of do that. When's the change? And then she goes, you're combative. I'm going to call the cops. I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably stay there too. I'd be like, what is wrong with you? Now, is it the smartest thing to do? No. The smartest thing would be to get the hell out of there. However, there comes a moment where you're confronted by such sheer stupidity.
I put the video in 2x speed because I just couldn't handle more of the yapping. He just keeps going on and on about how wrong the employee or manager was in this video. And the least surprising thing he says is that he'd probably do the same thing, perhaps, if he was told no to a pup cup. He is literally just lying about the video. It's not like the woman said no, and then when the guy was like, oh, but I got this before, and she immediately threatened to call the cops. This guy started recording after this had already escalated from this guy being a rude asshole. He starts recording in the middle of her telling him no for the millionth fucking time, and he won't leave. He refuses to leave. There's no other course of action besides either just giving this guy his pup cup, which I don't think would be the right call at all, or just getting the police there to get him out, so that way the business can continue to run. The sheer stupidity is solely on the customer here, who refuses to fucking leave and just go to another restaurant that offers pup cups, or even better, going and buying his own whipped cream so he can make his own pup cups at home. Those would be the sensible decisions for a rational, not lunatic. Those would be what someone who is not entitled would do. But this guy, and the YouTuber, clearly, both seem to be extremely entitled. He just keeps going on and on about how wrong she was and how this is how businesses should run, do what the customer asks as long as it's a reasonable request, even if it's not something you typically offer. It's just ridiculous. It's very stupid. But it's exactly what I talk about when I talk about everyone being debate-brained. This is like an impossible to argue angle, and the only way he even tries to cobble together anything almost coherent is by lying about what's in the video itself. The manager was not aggressive, she was not combative, she was not freaking out, and her first course of action was not calling the police immediately upon the pup cup request. That was her last resort. Do you think that's something that they'd like to do? That is very disruptive to the business. So it's clearly not something that she wanted to do, but felt there was no other option because she didn't want to just give this customer the pup cup, because even if she did, he still might not fucking leave. He'd sit there, record, and try and embarrass and belittle them even further. So calling the police is a sensible decision that she made for the business. He also criticizes her for not de-escalating the situation, even though she did try, by just saying, we don't do that. No, we don't do that. If they gave you that, they weren't doing what they were supposed to do. She is not raising her voice. She is not escalating the situation. She is just telling him point blank, no. There's nothing wrong with that. That should de-escalate the situation because that should put the kibosh on it. You're getting a no. So move the fuck on. But he couldn't. He refused to. So she did what she felt she needed to do. And I do think that was the right call. If you let yourself get trampled by rude fucking customers, you're setting yourself up for disaster further down the line. That would be bad for business. But her calling the police, that's not. It is not bad for business. This was bad for this individual, and a really bad look for you to be trying to make some argument out of something that's so cut and dry and so easy to see who's in the right and wrong. There is really no nuance to this at all. He's trying to use this as like an educational moment, like, this is how a business should run. And Charlie is super wrong when he says that, the customer was wrong here. In fact, the manager was the one that's wrong, and here's why, because this is how businesses need to operate to be successful. And it is super fucking dumb. There is just no good argument to be made in this debate, because there shouldn't even be a debate about this topic at all. But that is just the current climate of every type of anything that exists online. Everything has a divisive nature to it now. It's crazy to me that even something as simple as a customer being a temper tantrum throwing baby man is somehow like, well, there's actually more to it. He was in the right, and here's why. And you just make some dumb shit up about it to support the other side of this issue, I guess. It's so weird to me. So weird. And I just thought this was the perfect example of that trend. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Another day, another whiny, entitled loser having a meltdown and freak out in a fast food drive-thru. This time, the temper tantrum is caused because he was declined a pup cup.
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave, please.
I'm doing a video.
I'm gonna need you to leave, sir.
Why was the reasoning why you won't give me a pup cup?
We're not allowed to do pup cups.
Yes, you are. I come here 2-3 times a week, every week, and get a pup cup.
As a dog owner myself, I am very familiar with this item. It's super simple. It's just a cup of whipped cream. It's not winning any Michelin stars, but it's just a nice little treat for your dogs if you're going to a couple of fast food places that offer it. I think the main one is Starbucks. But I didn't even know it was like super common outside of that. So it's not surprising that they're saying, no, you can't get a pup cup here. And also, 2 to 3 of those a week? That's excessive. At that point, just get your own can of whipped cream. Like, what the fuck?
Every time I come here.
We're not supposed to do pup cups. If they're doing it, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Do you not understand? It's just a little cup of whipped cream.
Sir, I need you to leave, please.
Why won't you give me a pup cup?
Because we do not do pup cups at this establishment.
Bullshit. Came here yesterday and got a pup cup.
Somebody hand me the phone, please. Call the police.
She's calling the police because I want a pup cup?
She's calling the police because you're an annoying pest that refuses to leave, even though she's told you multiple times they don't do pup cups. Now, if you've received some of those sacred treasures here, that wonderful cuisine in the past, it means you got lucky, and the workers probably just didn't want to deal with you because you're a headache and decided to just oblige and give you those pup cups, but it's not something this establishment normally does, and she's telling you that. You're also making a problem for the workers that were nice enough to you to give you those pup cups by snitching on them here. Just accept the no, take the L, and move on. Go to a different place that offers it, or better yet, go to Publix or your local grocer, get a can of whipped cream, and then give your dog your own personal pup cup. She has done nothing wrong, she's not being mean, she told you no, which she has every right to do. And for some reason, you're making this a huge song and dance, and for some reason, so many people have these brain worms in society today, like these parasites that infest their mind that think that they're always in the right. So he starts filming this interaction himself. What should be a shameful moment for him that should keep him awake for weeks to come is something that he is proudly posting online himself. It's embarrassing. It's super fucking embarrassing. You're delusional. You're not in the right. No one's on your side. Just leave. They don't do pup cups. And stop saying that word. It grinds my ass. It chafes my fucking butt how many times he says the word pup cup throughout this video. He spams that word more often than a Rocket League player spams what a save. It drove me nuts. It was so fucking grating.
Let's see what the police have to say because a person wants a pup cup? Seriously, you're calling the police because someone wants a pup cup. That's absolutely absurd. It's absolutely ridiculous. Cassopolis, Michigan.
I'm not entirely sure who shouted for being an idiot. My guess is it's one of the customers behind him, since he's clearly congesting the drive-thru here and putting it to an absolute halt, grinding it to a standstill. So I'm guessing they were getting mad and started shouting at him, just throwing tomatoes at this clown here. Just boo, boo, you stink, please stop, you're being an idiot. That's my guess. But it also could have been one of the workers from inside saying that, because he's now making everyone's day much more miserable there. He just doesn't seem to grasp that it has nothing to do with the pup cup, it has to do with his refusal to leave after being told no.
No. That's absolutely ridiculous. All you have to do is put some goddamn whipped cream in a cup, and so that my dog can have a pup cup. And I was paying for it. I asked to pay for it.
So fucking what? They still said no. It doesn't matter how easy it is, they don't do that here. Your dog's not gonna die from lack of pup cup. It's not like that's the only sustenance keeping it alive. It's not just going to fucking explode if it doesn't get like the sugar from the whipped cream. It'll be fine. Go make your own pup cup at home and get the fuck out of the drive-thru and stop making everyone's day more miserable and worse by your presence. You absolute worm.
You McDonald's people need to start, like, come on now. It's a freaking pup cup. Arrogant McDonald's manager right there. Right there. Cassopolis, Michigan. I'm going to corporate with this. McDonald's doesn't support dogs, but you want me to round up to support the freaking kids every time I come here?
What the hell is even that? What are you saying? This man's gone loopy from how upset he is at getting told no. He's just not making any sense. It's just a bunch of mumbo-jumbo gobbledygook here. No, this isn't even a coherent rant anymore that he's yelling about. Just flapping his gums over nothing. What do you mean you're going to send this to corporate? What do you think they're going to do about it? What do you think their response is going to be? Excuse me, McDonald's CEO, Ronald, sir. Look at what just came across my desk. Take a peek here. It seems one of our restaurants in Cassopolis, Michigan did not serve a customer a pup cup despite being asked to. Shut it down. Get the Hamburglar on the line right now. We gotta take that establishment offline ASAP, track down the customer, and give him a lifetime supply of pup cups ASAP to make this right. Like, this isn't even something they offer. What is corporate gonna do, you fucking goofball?
It's a little bit of whipped cream in a cup, and I'm paying for it. It's a pup cup. Quit being so stubborn. Just give me a freaking pup cup. This could all be averted with a little bit of whipped cream in a cup for my dog.
Why don't you stop being so stubborn? This could all be averted if you weren't just such a whiny little baby man. Just take the no and leave. Scram! Get out of town. Oh my goodness.
This is why America's going to people like you. We don't do pup cups. I come here 2-3 times a week and get a pup cup. Tell me I can't get a pup cup.
Ah, yes. This is what's wrong with America. This is the reason why America's going to shit. They'll no longer serve a good red-blooded American patriot like this man a pup cup that he was trying to pay for. What happened to us? We used to be a proper country.
Wait till you lose your job when I send this to corporate. I'm waiting till the police get here. Not much, man. It really didn't need to escalate like this, but
You're right, it definitely did not need to escalate like this. But you're a little bitch who couldn't just take no for an answer. So it did escalate like this. And what do you mean, wait till they lose their job? They've done nothing wrong. They've done absolutely nothing wrong whatsoever. No one's losing their job here.
And she's sitting there making a big deal saying, we don't do pup cups, you need to leave. I want you to leave. I'm like, hold on, I'm going to pull up my phone. I'm like, you guys are really refusing to give me a pup cup for 35 cents that, you know, it shouldn't be asking. And she's like, I'm calling the cops if you don't leave. I said, go ahead and call the cops because I want to document this because they're calling the cops on a customer, a paying customer that comes here regularly.
You're not entitled to a goddamn pup cup, and also you're boring the officer to death by taking him on a trip to Yappersville because you won't shut the fuck up about this. You're not in the right here, and the officer is not on your side. And in fact, it ends with him getting trespassed and banned for this. Like, I don't know what outcome you could have possibly expected here.
We're just out here to keep the peace.
That's what I want.
Said you were screaming at him and yelling at him and videotaping and...
I wasn't screaming or yelling. Arrogant McDonald's manager right there. Just give me a freaking pup cup.
He tries to claim he wasn't yelling at them, and then whoever uploaded this video, I found it through Reddit, I don't think this is the original upload, whoever uploaded this easily showcased multiple instances of him yelling. Plus, he filmed all of this himself. He can easily just be disproven with his own video that he has. It's ridiculous to try and claim that he wasn't yelling.
Good with you? He's good with me. Okay, man, you're banned. Find another place.
That's cool.
I don't know if
I won't come back here.
I appreciate that.
I don't want to.
Now he'll go terrorize another McDonald's by demanding a pup cup, and the cycle will continue. Just making a huge commotion because he refuses to take no for an answer and also refuses to just get his own can of whipped cream. You don't need to be getting pup cups 2 to 3 times a week for your dog. That's way too much, I would say. But anyway, just wanted to talk about this a little bit because, once again, another example of someone filming their own most embarrassing moment, and all the time it seems to happen at fast food establishments where people are delusional enough to think they're in the right despite throwing a temper tantrum over nothing. Just this entitlement plague that's sweeping the nation, I guess. That's really about it. So yeah. It's time I lend my expertise to an important case that requires my specific set of skills. I'm not a talented man. There's not many things I'd consider myself a master of. Maybe coping with having a patchy beard and below average height, but beyond that, not much else. Except for one thing, and that's my ability to analyze a video over and over again to a level many would deem unnatural. There's a case going on right now that I've been fascinated by all afternoon.
LA Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani's 50th home run ball is being auctioned by the fan who left the stadium with it. But someone else who was part of that mad scramble for the ball says not so fast.
Ohtani is one of the best to ever do it, period. I'm not even a baseball fan, and even I am blown away by how good Shohei Ohtani is. And I'm sure most of you know this, he just set a record for hitting 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in a single season, and that 50th home run ball is now up for auction or up for sale for $4.5 million.
Stop the auction. The true owner of LA Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani's historic homer is being challenged today. This 18-year-old in the red jersey claims the ball was snatched out of his hand in the tussle. He's asking a judge to halt tomorrow's auction of the ball, which could fetch as much as $4.5 million.
4.5 million bones is nothing to scoff at. You could eat at Five Guys for a whole month off of it. This is a ton of money. And the 18-year-old in the red shirt is claiming that he had the ball and the guy in the black shirt wrestled it away from him and stole it from him, basically. So he wants the auction to stop. He's opened a lawsuit against him for it for battery.
18-year-old Max Mattis says the ball was taken from him as a result of civil battery. The accusation is being leveled at fellow baseball fan Chris Belansky, seen here in the black t-shirt. The lawsuit says the teen firmly had possession of the ball, but Belansky wrapped his legs around Max's arm and used his hands to wrangle the ball out of Max's hand, stealing the ball for himself. You be the judge.
I will be the judge, and the jury, and the executioner, if I find any fishy business and foul play afoot here. So, I've gone through every angle of this footage and I want to share it with all of you, because I actually think he's wrong. From everything I've seen, the guy in the black shirt actually had the ball first, and then the guy in the red shirt comes in and starts reaching for it. Let me take you to Exhibit A here, the video that you're seeing the end of in the Inside Edition segment. Because it really does, at first glance, look like the guy in the black shirt kind of like cobras his way around the kid's arm and like, I don't know, scrambles to free it like Houdini trying to get out of a box or something, like an escape artist.
Get it! Oh my God! No way! No!
That was real time. Now let's slow it down and start to enhance. Right now, this baseball is more valuable than a fucking Dragon Ball, so everyone is scrambling for it. It's important to note that Red Shirt has his phone in his right hand, so he's only going at this with one hand, and it's his left. Pause. My fellow detectives, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Look at this, Eagle Eye. His left hand is planted on the table. He does not have the baseball in his possession right now. Remember, his phone is in his right hand, so he does not have it. His left hand is on the table. You can see Blue Shirt is fucking flopping like a fish over the barrier here. He's diving for it. He's letting it all hang loose here. He's putting it all on the line. He's risking it all. I appreciate the chutzpah from that gentleman, but he had no chance. Black Shirt is on the ball right now. You can see him wrapping up on top of it like he's recovering a fumble. So he is on top of the ball right now, and Red Shirt has his left hand on the table. Let's step on the gas here again. So you see Blue Shirt, he's gone over the top right now. He fucking flung himself over here like that guy in the courthouse that threw himself at the judge. So he ragdolls his body over, he misses the baseball entirely, and now, pause again. Red Shirt has now thrust his left hand into the nutsack of Black Shirt, trying to fish around to find the baseball. So he is reaching down now, trying to get his hand on the baseball, trying to grip it and rip it from Black Shirt, who we just saw in the previous pause was already on top of it while Red Shirt's left hand was on the table. You can see Red Shirt desperately trying to pry the ball from the paws of Black Shirt, but those meaty claws are not letting it go. And Red Shirt is no doubt getting a handful of scrotum, about to ask him to cough. But for $4.5 million, I respect him like going this hard for it. Sometimes you gotta try. But it really does, from everything I see here, show that Black Shirt had the ball first, covered up on it, and then Red Shirt saw an opportunity to try and strike and get it. But I think the only thing he got was penis. I don't think he ever had possession of the ball. In everything I see in this video, it doesn't seem like he ever had it. Black Shirt then tells him he's got it, and that's when Red Shirt lets go. This is another angle of it. You can see that Red Shirt is right where the ball bounces off the table, but because he has his phone in his hand, which was a huge blunder, if he didn't have his phone in his hand, I think Red Shirt gets that ball easily. But he has his phone in his hand, so he doesn't get it off the bounce. The ball hits the floor, Black Shirt is on top of it, and you can see Red Shirt is still trying to get in to get the ball. I don't believe Red Shirt ever had the 50th home run from Ohtani. I don't think he ever had that ball in his hand. From everything I have scrubbed through on the footage here, and I went through it with a fine-tooth comb. I damn near brought the fucking binoculars out on that. I was trying to go CSI on it where I was enhance. And I don't see any moment where he beat Black Shirt to that ball or ever even really had the ball. The most compelling part of it is when his left hand is on the table while Black Shirt is already on top of it. I do think this plays out very differently if Red Shirt had put his phone in his pocket. I think in that situation, He walks away with that ball, no questions asked. That's business right there, baby. That's kaput. That's the end of that chapter. I think he would have easily gotten that ball because he is the first one to it, but you can see he misses it off the table. It's on the floor, and black shirt covers it up immediately, and red shirt was never able to get it at all. I think the only thing he got was close to giving the dude the old dick twist. I don't think he ever had the ball, so I think the lawsuit isn't going to go in his favor. Of course, I'm not the preeminent expert on it. I have analyzed the footage a lot, but I'm not exactly what you'd call the smartest man in the world. That could very well be wrong, but I just don't see any compelling argument where you could say that, yep, he had that ball first and black shirt wrestled it away from him. From everything I can see, it really seems like red shirt started grabbing for the ball after black shirt had solid possession of it for a little bit too. Again, the damning evidence is his left hand on that table while black shirt is already on top of that ball. It honestly just seems like red shirt's heart wasn't fully in it. Like, you got your phone in your right hand, you're nerfing yourself when you're fishing for that ball. The second you saw that ball flying your way, bro, I'm fucking spiking that phone like it's a football touchdown celebration. Like, I'm focused on getting that ball because you know that fucking thing is going to be selling for millions. Like, that is a huge life-changing amount of money. Of course, hindsight's 2020. Like, I wasn't there or anything, and I'm sure he regrets holding onto his phone. Like, I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound. But you can see this would have been super different if he had both of his hands available to him. I don't think he has a case here to claim that the ball was wrangled away from him in an act of civil battery. I don't think he ever even really had the ball. I think he had a handful of that dude's balls. I don't think he ever even got his hand around the Ohtani home run ball. So, yeah, I guess we'll see how it plays out, though. I could be very wrong about that, but from these angles, it just doesn't seem that red shirt ever had the ball. That's about it. See ya. Yesterday, our worst nightmare came true. Hackers found a way to take control of our penises. With technology and fetishes evolving at such a rapid rate, this was always bound to happen. And unfortunately, we weren't prepared. Our dick doomsday was yesterday, and I believe that was only the beginning of the penile punishment from these evil hackers. Those same people we mocked for outrageous claims like hackers can get into our Game Boys and steal our credit card information, or those boogeyman stories of the hacker known as 4chan who can infiltrate our electric toothbrushes and take control of our minds, may not have been so crazy after all. They warned us and we didn't listen. And now we pay the price for our hubris. Now we're left in a wiener wasteland where no one's cock is safe from hackers. It's like Fallout, but instead of nuclear war, it's nut war. Now let me break down exactly what's happened here. Yesterday it was reported by multiple outlets that a ransomware attack had happened where the hacker was targeting BDSM chastity cages from Shul, which is a company that makes the cellmate chastity cage, and basically what it is it's a prison for your penis. You put it on and you can't get an erection, and it also squeezes the fuck out of it. I can't show you a picture of it in use, but from the pictures I saw of people actually using it, it looks like it's strangling your cock like it owes it money. It looks like it's trying to squeeze the last drop of toothpaste out of the tube. And the idea is it's used in BDSM play where your partner has an app that controls the chastity cage and you have to beg them to unleash it so that way you can get an erection or get your penis to have blood circulating to it again so it doesn't just get like necrosis and fall off. So that's where it comes from. It's sexual pleasure from your partner having total control over your penis. And unfortunately, there was a security vulnerability that was revealed months ago and only just recently exploited by a hacker who took control of the cages and held the penises hostage unless they sent them 0.02 Bitcoin or something like that, which is like $270. But unless that ransom was paid, he was taking your dick and twisting it with that chastity cage. You couldn't get it off. There wasn't like a fail-safe to it. Like once the hacker had control, he had full fucking control of your wiener. So you couldn't pee, you couldn't cum, you couldn't well, you could shit, but it wouldn't be a good shit because what's a shit without peeing too? So it was absolutely miserable, and a lot of people were reporting the problem to the company, and then the company eventually had to come up with a solution, so they showed an emergency failsafe with a screwdriver, which I'll put on screen now. So this was the only way to avoid paying the ransom. And also the hacker was insulting the victim, saying things like, your cock is mine now. I'm an ancient wizard who's used magic to take control of your meat. You must play by my rules because I am the scrotum sorcerer. I'm the last cockbender. Just all kinds of shit like that he was sending to the victims. And it's just been a real mess. I found no information on how much this hacker is likely made or how many people actually paid the ransom, but I have to imagine it's a decent chunk of change, considering that the attack affected quite a few people from the sound of things. I don't know how many people out there, or how many people watching right now, have a penis prison put on their wiener right now, but with this new kind of cyber warfare tactic, this new kind of terrorist attack, I would definitely say be a little more careful when locking your dick in like a fucking shark cage. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because I found this to be a really interesting and pretty innovative use of technology that I just thought was worth mentioning. Luckily, they did find a solution that isn't just paying the guy, so that's good. But it does seem like it voids the warranty, so if you do unfortunately fall victim to the hacker, it looks like you've lost warranty if you're trying to get yourself out without paying. Also, I was reading about a guy who actually fell victim to the hacker multiple times, which to me is wild. Like, you know, you put this on and like, oh no, I've been hijacked by the evil, you know, dirty bubble. I can't get my fucking chastity cage off. And then you get on the support line with the company, they get it off for you. You're like, oh, whew, close call. And then you put it right back on only to get hit by the hacker again. Like, come on now. Like, I'm sure there's other options. Like, you don't need to have, like, this cellmate chastity cage on at all times. There's probably alternatives. Like, how about you just squeeze your wiener real hard, and then your partner says, hey, you can't stop squeezing your wiener till I tell you to, you know? Like, do it the old-fashioned way, manual. It doesn't need to be, you know, smart chastity cages. So, yeah, just a pretty wild story all around, but that's about it. So, yeah. Feels like it's been a while since the last time I covered a good old-fashioned Walmart weirdo, and I got quite a specimen for you today. It's a gentle sir who's going ballistic because, as I understand it, he was upset that there wasn't 3 managers in his section to complain to. I guess he really wanted to, like, run the gauntlet, like, wagging his finger at a manager. Customer's always right. You should know that, or something. Like, he's going, like a sports player coming out of the tunnel giving everyone high fives. He wanted to go through and just give a bunch of fucking complaints to a ton of Walmart managers, I guess. And since they weren't there, he instead took his anger out on one of the employees. And apparently, the woman that was filming tried to interject to get him to calm down, which only fanned his flames of anger even more.
You want to call me a dumb bitch again?
Dumb bitch? Okay. Fuck you.
So, I'm recording him for...
Let me tell you what I've accomplished.
Do you have a son?
I don't have any children. I haven't found a capable mate.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
It sure as hell does make a lot of sense.
That makes...
Turned into like a pseudo-therapy session there for a moment. This guy just came over and just trauma dumped briefly. So she asked, do you have a son? I imagine she was going to ask, do you teach him to treat people this way? But he immediately took that question on the chin saying, no, I haven't found a capable mate. So he's like, he comes over here, yeah, I'm mateless, what about it? No mates? Is what it is, I guess. And then he even says like, yeah, it does make a lot of sense actually why no woman would want to be around me. I get it. Yeah, you know what? That does sound about par for the course. I'm over here just fucking spitting and shitting in a Walmart because there's not enough managers for me to be yelling at. Also, just the sassy way he says it sounds like a child during a temper tantrum. No, I haven't found a capable mate. Oh man, it's pretty fucking pathetic. Anyway, though, he comes over after calling her a dumb bitch and then saying, fuck you. He marches over, he gets his phone out to start recording, which is a pretty common power move that dumb assholes like this try when they're getting, like, called out on something and then they try and, like, go into their defense mechanism of also recording, like, I can do it too, look at this. So now he's recording her because he deludes himself into thinking that people will be on his side if they have his perspective from his camera. So after blowing up on a Walmart employee and then calling this stranger a dumb bitch and then saying, like, he hasn't found a capable mate, there's no woman on this planet capable of handling my seed. I'm a victim of my own masculinity. I'm too much of a man, and women can't handle it. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense why no woman wants to be around me. That I do get. Time to start recording now. Now it's time. I win. Here's my checkmate move.
A lot of sense.
Tell me about your accomplishments today, ma'am. I can talk to them however I want.
No,
you don't even know what I was saying to them.
It's disrespectful. Look,
You're
you're
standing up.
speaking to me. You're a large man.
You involved
and I'm
yourself
a
in
small
something that's
female.
not your. It's not your business.
It's my business to protect other
No, it
women
isn't.
from
It's
abusive
not.
assholes
I wasn't
like
abusing
you.
them. You have nothing. You have no idea what I was even saying to them. No, you just wanted to get involved.
It's verbal abuse, and if I'm a woman
The
and you're verbally
only
abusing a
one
woman,
the only
I will
one
stand
that-
between you and them every time.
And do what? Do you want to talk about it outside? And I'm going to stand between them. You want to go outside and talk about it, stupid?
So here she's kind of laying the foundation for what led to all this. He was being rude to an employee, she stepped in, and then all of this started blowing up. And now tough guy here's like, so what are you going to do about it, huh? You want to take it outside? He must have analyzed the surrounding area, making sure there was no men nearby that might take him up on the challenge, no doubt. So now that he's confirmed that it's only this woman and the other female employees, now he feels like a real big guy saying, let's take it outside then. Do you want to take it outside, huh? Now, something I want to mention is he's only just started recording. This is the intro to his video from his side of things. So they didn't even get all the prerequisite lore of him being like an asshole to the Walmart employee or what led to this interaction between him and the woman filming. So when he shares this with his fucking Facebook group or whoever he hangs around with, if anybody at all they're going to see is their goofball loser-ass friend going up to a woman, asking her, do you want to take it outside, challenging her to a fight. Wow, bud, I'm sure this one's gonna bang. They're gonna be cheering for you. A big round of applause. Somehow the video he himself is recording makes him look even worse than the full video does. Because now it's just him as like a highlight reel challenging a woman to a fight at Walmart, basically.
Guys, do y'all want to get trespassed?
No, I want to find out who's the manager for the section.
He's being
She's
verbally
involving
abusive
herself in
to
something that's
these
not her
employees.
business. She should just go about her business.
And he's being aggressive.
Calm down.
Bye. Was I abusing you?
I said he was being verbally abusive.
Was I abusing
yes.
you or was I complaining about the manager? Don't lie.
He was using language and everything.
That's right. Why did I get mad? Because you're supposed to have three. Because your manager can't do
Okay,
their
y'all
job.
need to
That's
keep
why I
it
got
down a
mad.
little bit, or I will have your
Sometimes could be.
That's pretty much where the video wraps up right there. The other employee comes over and just threatens to trespass both of them because of all the commotion here, so they get separated. And that's kind of where it is curtains. So the context clues here. If I'm understanding correctly, he was mad because there wasn't a manager there, so he took his anger out on the employee for the lack of manager, saying that there needs to be 3 of them there, I think? 3 managers, maybe? Which to me seems excessive. Why would you have 3 managers in a single section in the store? Unless he's like this raid boss of Cringe, like the top tier male Karen, that they need 3 managers just to like wrangle them in, to like hold them down. I feel like that's just way too many managers to allocate to one spot. But maybe he meant like there's supposed to be a manager here and then 3 employees? So he needs like a whole army to take care of him to like fluff his nuts or something? I really don't even know what the whole complaint is here in the first place. Because clearly there are employees in this section. He was just berating one of them about the lack of manager, apparently. So like, you did have people there to help you. I don't know why he needed to like escalate it and get even angrier at the employee for what I imagine is something very trivial in the first place. Now, the woman who filmed this did make a follow-up to it to give like a little more insight onto what happened next. They did like go their separate ways, but apparently he kept carrying on, and according to her, he was escorted out of the Walmart. Not super willingly, he wasn't, very enthusiastic about that, and she did mention that police were involved with that. Not overly surprising, that checks out. That makes a lot of sense. Much like him not being able to find a capable mate. That also does make sense. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret real quick. Here, come in close. I'll whisper it in your ear. Anyone who says capable mate probably is doomed to be alone forever. You're already kind of too far gone. You are so lost in the fucking sauce. You are probably already a douchebag and already kind of just in a loveless position. The only salvation that you can find is crawling yourself out of that hole that led you to thinking that that's a normal thing to say. No sane person is going to be talking about like, yeah, the reason I have no kids at this age and I'm not in a relationship or anything is just because I haven't found a capable mate. That's just so fucking odd. What a peculiar thing to say. You immediately raise eyebrows with that kind of shit. So that's just a little, you know, free tip right there. Don't end up like this guy. I think it should be a pretty easy fate to avoid. But anyway, I just wanted to yap about this a little bit. It does feel like it's been a while since the last time we analyzed a wacky Walmart meltdown freakout type thing. So anyway, that's really about it. So yeah. Being a fast food worker has to be one of the most dangerous jobs in America, second only to a firefighter maybe. Over the last 3 or 4 months, I'd say, things have been reaching this crescendo of madness in the fast food industry. Pretty much every day I'll hop on Twitter and see 5 new viral clips of public meltdowns or freakouts or fights at fast food restaurants like McDonald's, Dairy Queen, Burger King. God bless any soul that eats at Burger King. May the Lord have mercy on you. You know, just every restaurant having all of these wild over-the-top freakouts, and sometimes it just leads to death. You can Google any fast food restaurant right now and probably find 6 or 7 fatalities that occurred there just this week. It's been getting scary. 2 months ago, there was that shooting at Subway where a guy just shot one of the workers, killed them because he had too much mayo on his sandwich. That's fucking horrifying, getting blasted because you went a little heavy on the mayo. What is this, Mad Max in the Thunderdome? It's scary. You never know what you're going to encounter at a fast food restaurant, whether you're going to see wiener or see a giant fight. Anything's on the table. Sometimes people aren't coming in there for food, they're coming in there to just fuck shit up. So I genuinely do think there's a lot of danger associated with working in the fast food industry right now. I don't know if it's always been this way, or if it's just getting worse for some reason. I couldn't tell you, but since since smartphones are so common right now, you can see all of this happening every single day across the country. And a lot of it's really entertaining freakouts, like the one I'll show you right now. But then there's just a lot of really fucking scary ones too. My heart genuinely does break for anyone in the service industry, and I wish you nothing but the best. I, again, don't get why it's always fast food restaurants. It's the second people walk through the doors, they just get hit by some kind of frequency that turns their brain into an aggressive fucking primal caveman brain. Like in Kingsman, where Valentine had that chip in the phone that made everyone fight each other in a church. I feel like that's what's happening at fast food restaurants right now.
Give me my dinner on my fucking store, though! Fuck you! Give me my fucking meal! Where's my... You fucking goof! Where's my fucking... Give me my fucking meal!
Unfortunately, we missed the introduction here and what led up to the confrontation. I guess the cameraman was too busy getting the popcorn together instead of filming, but I'll fill you in on the details. So this happened at a Dairy Queen, and the lady in this video here, this Angel, she was spending about 20 minutes in the bathroom smoking meth. You know, meth and Dairy Queen go together like peanut butter and jelly. So she took a long time smoking her meth, and in that time, her meal got cold. So she asked for a replacement, demanding she get another meal because hers was cold. They declined because, obviously, it was her fault. She smoked meth for 20 minutes and they're shitter. So why is she entitled to a brand new free meal? And in the beginning of this video, you can hear the manager shouting, and he's getting real guttural with it. I got really concerned that he was going to start serving some knuckle sandwiches on the secret food menu here. I thought we were going to see a fight, but he showed tremendous restraint even though the lady did swing on him and started making a real ruckus. But you know what is worth making a ruckus over? G Fuel's buy one get one deal going on right now, where you buy one energy tub and get one free. So why not hop over to G Fuel right now and get some Divine Peach in this special offer? You can click the link in the description below.
Oh yeah, we have it.
I am not leaving until I get my fucking meal!
You can throw whatever you want.
Give me my fucking meal!
Getting shit. They said they're coming.
You fucking goof!
They said they're coming.
What, you're gonna just fuck me for my fucking meal?
I'm sorry you let it sit there for 20 minutes while you're in
my fucking burger goof!
Man.
Now she's using a pretty high-level strategy for inciting violence. She's using fighting words, calling him a goof. She says multiple times, "You goof." And when she notices that the manager's unaffected by these words, she got a little more violent by throwing milkshakes and just spilling shit all over the place. Just disrupting it, you know, ruining perfectly good milkshakes in the process.
Give me my fucking meal!
No.
What do you mean no?
Because you let it sit there for 20 minutes. That's not our fault. That's not our fault you let it sit there.
You are a fucking goof. I can fucking...
I hope you know that the police, the police are on their way.
I don't really give a fuck.
They will.
You are a fucking... You want to be a tough guy? You're a stun cunt.
Now, I'll be the first to admit I didn't know Dairy Queen served full cakes, but there is a really pretty cake sitting on the counter right there that became the victim of this lady's wrath. She banished it to the shadow realm. It was such an outstanding looking dessert, you know, a beautiful cake, probably for some child's birthday party or maybe to celebrate them getting a new badge in the Boy Scouts, and this lady just fucking ruins it. Now, the manager informs her that the police are on the way, which I personally think was a strategic blunder. You know, that's like the ace in the hole. That's something you should keep to yourself, like keep that up your sleeve. You know, keep her there, because now that he's informed her of it, now she makes, quick work of getting out of there. From what I understand, though, when the police do get called by a restaurant, they usually show up like an hour later. They don't take it super seriously. At least in most of the reports I was reading about these kind of situations, they're not super prompt in showing up, and when they do get there, it's already resolved itself and they don't do much for it. So it's usually just something like, if you're gonna call them, maybe let it be a surprise for the person you're calling him on, so that way they might still stick around for an hour. Like, I bet if he didn't tell her, she would have stuck around for another hour smoking meth, maybe like throwing napkins next once she ran out of milkshakes to destroy. He could have kept stalling her, at the very least, and then she'd face some kind of repercussions for this, but the video ends with her just leaving.
I did! They heard you yelling!
You're such a fucking loser!
They heard you yelling! They
Liar!
said they're selling somebody
You already heard that one too, you fucking repeato!
I'm sorry that you went and smoked meth in the bathroom for 20 minutes. Leave our store and never come back.
A lot of things can be said about this woman, not all of them positive, but I will give her one compliment. She is the queen of uncommon insults. Like, this is shit I would have never expected to hear during a heated argument. She calls him a goof, a loon, which, as I understand it, is like calling him crazy, which is a weird thing to be saying. Like, he's just kind of standing there doing his job. I don't know what he's done that's like crazy. And then she also calls him repeato because he said the same thing twice. So I mean, she's got some zingers that she's tossing out here, so some real humdingers. So yeah, that one was making the rounds on Twitter today, but I figured I'd give you a little bonus freak out, a little dessert. This one's from 2019, but is going viral again. I think I saw it yesterday or the day before. It's a woman who got extremely upset that the restaurant was out of beef patties, so she went and got a baseball bat and beat the fuck out of their windows.
She was just like, you're lying, the beef patties are ready, and why they're not ready, you're lying.
Says then she left and came back 5 minutes later, and that's when she went absolutely berserk. Cops say it happened January 15th at the East 169th Street restaurant. The suspect, with a baseball bat, smashed the store glass.
This really made me want to try those beef patties if they're worth this much effort. She stayed mad for like a whole 5 or 10 minutes because the beef patties weren't instantly ready. Like, it's not even like they were out of beef patties, they just weren't immediately ready to serve. So they must be so delectable, so exquisite, that if they're not immediately in your mouth when you're thinking about them, it'll make you this upset. This almost worked like an ad campaign. Our patties slap so fucking hard, they're worth going to jail over. They said it cost like $2,000 to repair the glass, and it was a big hassle, obviously. But yeah, I just wanted to share a couple of fast food freakouts again because it's all over the place. It's happening all the time now. Granted, this second instance here was from a couple years back, but for some reason, all of these freakouts are being shared now like they're happening in real time, so I'm constantly exposed to it. And regardless, I still think it's a pretty dangerous job. You never know exactly what's going to be happening at a fast food spot, I suppose. But anyway, that's about it. See ya. I saw a very interesting video today that ties into a topic that I've discussed on streams passionately for years now. Tipping. I know, all at once, a bunch of people just went from the relaxed position to the locked-in stance in their chairs because tipping is a hot-button topic. So what happened is some guys went to a restaurant, got some food, paid for it, and left, but the restaurant owner noticed they didn't leave a tip. So he starts following them around on the street like the adoring fan from Oblivion. He is literally just on their tail like it's a fucking trailing mission out of a video game. And he's like insulting them, even like threatening them, all about not leaving that tip.
Hey bro, what do you want, bro? What do you want? I paid for my food. I paid for my food. What are you talking? Why are you following me down the fucking street? Nigga, you need to get the fuck back. You need to get back. Why are you following me? Why are you following me? What do you think? Why are you following me? What are you gonna do? Call 911. Call 911. If you need to settle something, you know who to call.
The guy filming is right. He didn't break any laws. He paid for his meal, and it's not a legal obligation to tip. So the owner on his ass here like a hemorrhoid, like it's, you know, the horror movie It Follows about him not tipping, is wrong here. Because, again, he didn't do anything wrong. So the guy filming is like, well, call the police then if you think there's been some, you know, foul play, you know, some dirty barnacles, from us. You can call the police about it. Obviously, the owner's not going to do that because there's not actually a case there.
Bro, I'm not trying to fuck with you. You piece of shit. Bro, I'm not trying to goddamn fucking yell at me. I'm not trying to fuck with you, bro. You shut your goddamn fucking mouth, man. Why are you following me down the street? You piece of shit, little piece of shit, man. I paid for my food. I'll smack the shit out of you, punk ass, man. I pay for my food, bro. Piece of shit. I pay for my food. How the fuck you didn't think they make money? I pay for my food. How my fucking staff supposed to make fucking money, huh? So raise your price, huh?
Now I'm cutting around this a little bit because, as I said, this goes on for a long time. It feels like he follows them for miles. It felt like in Game of Thrones when they were marching for like a whole season. It felt like we got all of that throughout the course of this video. And it also was getting very heated. It started sounding like a Xbox Live lobby after a Call of Duty round ended. It was getting pretty big and a lot of yelling. But when the owner said that, how is my staff supposed to make money? Brother, it felt like I got teabagged. I was stunned. I was seeing stars. You are the owner. What do you mean, how is your staff supposed to make money? Pay them a livable wage. Like, it's not the most difficult to grasp concept. You don't need to be astronaut Katy Perry to understand this rocket science here. Tipping is a way for businesses to save money on their employee salaries by paying them sub-minimum wage. It's a way for business owners to financially treat the faces of their employees like a fucking fleshlight by paying them less than what they are supposed to, because tipping is supposed to make up for the difference, at least in the majority of states. There are some states that I'm aware of where restaurant workers can get tips, but they are still paid the normal minimum wage. But in most of the states in America, you get sub-minimum wage when you are working in a service industry position that has tipping as part of it. Tipping is just so ingrained in the culture of America right now, and it has just become pervasive in every industry. I'm sure a lot of you watching this have seen, like, self-checkout kiosks that now have tips that pop up occasionally. There is tipping in every single thing, and it's been a big talking point for a few years because now you are getting asked to tip on purely automated services. Like, who the fuck are you even tipping? Skynet? Like, it doesn't make sense. It is just outrageous. But when it comes to restaurants, the workers rely on tips because they're not getting paid a livable wage in the majority of states, and thus the onus is on the customer now to try and make up that difference so that restaurant worker can fucking survive. And it sucks. That shit is awful. Now in my case, I do maximum tip on everything in the service industry because I'm in a position to do so. And I know that they need that money, so I like to try and help out best I can. And Lord help us, I'm ashamed to admit it, I've even tipped at a self-serve froyo place once, where literally didn't interact with a single employee or anything, just made my own froyo, and I still tipped at the goddamn checkout. But point is, not everyone can do that, and not everyone should be required or expected to do that. It should always be the responsibility of the business to ensure the employees are making a livable wage, and tips should be something that is entirely optional as a way of rewarding exceptional service. And I know people have talked about that a lot, where they want to give extra to someone that really went above and beyond from them and they had a great experience with, so they want to tip that person to show their appreciation. That's great, but they should also just be making a livable wage, and that tip should go on top. I think that's how it should work in an ideal situation there.
Why you following me down the street?
Chill the fuck out, bro. Why'd you
chill out,
bro?
Fucking make money, huh? Chill out.
Why'd you following this man?
Chill out, bro. You need to calm down, bro.
You fucking raise your goddamn voice at me, huh?
Bro, you need to get back. You trying to back me into a corner? You trying to back me into a corner, bro?
What is wrong with you, bro?
What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? And now you mad because I won't tip you and you follow me down the street?
I'm supposed to fucking make money.
Okay, so raise your prices, dude. That's not my problem. I know you mad. I know, so don't serve me.
It's crazy to be doing this while wearing his restaurant on his chest. So what happened after this video blew up is a lot of people went to the restaurant and left a lot of really bad reviews on it, which I think they've been deleted now. I don't know if it's by him or if there's like a system in place for it. Couldn't tell you. But it was a really bad look for his restaurant here. He also just recently did an interview with CBS. I'll show you that in a moment. But I want to dive into the spaghetti and meatballs of something that the guy filming mentioned briefly. Raise your prices then. He's right. If the business owner can't afford to pay his employees a livable wage, he would naturally need to raise prices so he'd have more money to be able to pay his employees. But on the flip side of that coin, by raising his prices, he would have less customers because they would choose a place that is cheaper. Now, there's actually a little experiment conducted by someone named Michael Lynn, and it's been referenced by a lot of people when they talk about tipping culture, where he put two hypothetical restaurants against each other. Restaurant 1 had prices of like $15 for a cheeseburger, but a 15 to 20% gratuity to be expected at the end, versus Restaurant 2, where there is no tipping at all, but the cheeseburger is $17.25. Now, if you've got your thinking caps on, if you've passed, second grade arithmetic, you'll know these are the same price. But, overwhelmingly, the people in the study thought that Restaurant 1 was cheaper. Thus, people are going to gravitate towards that. Even though they're the same price after tip, people are going to choose the one that looks lower and cheaper to them. You have to remember, a lot of people are just fucking stupid. Does anyone recall when the third of a pound burger was introduced a long time ago? I've talked about this too. Back in the day, the quarter pounder crushing it. And A&W wanted to start trying to, encroach on that territory, so they introduced a third of a pound burger. But it flopped. It completely failed. This shit fumbled like Concorde. It was a culinary Concorde level disaster for them because people thought they were paying the same price for less burger. They didn't realize that a third of a pound is more than a quarter pound. So in the case of a restaurant that wants to pay their workers a livable wage and take tipping out of the equation and instead put that price into the menu itself, which is what a lot of people say they should do, well, their restaurant might not survive very long because people don't actually think very hard about things. So even in this hypothetical example, you're paying the same price, but the perception is it's cheaper to go with the place that just has tipping as an option. Now that brings us to the unicorn that people are looking so desperately to have, where all of the tipping is gone, eradicated, but all of the prices have stayed exactly the same. That's just not a realistic possibility for like 99% of these restaurants. Like, when they take away the tipping, they are then going to need to pay a lot more for those employees. Thus, they're going to need to somehow get more money. It's going to be by folding that difference into the menu items. Thus, it's going to look like you're paying more, even in cases where you might not be. So, it's very tough for a lot of these restaurants to just immediately jump on board with that, which is why we're in this fucking stalemate where tipping culture is just completely out of control, and why so many service industry workers are getting fucked because of just how rampant this issue is, and more people are choosing not to tip because they want to fight back against this. And in a lot of cases, they don't realize that they're not actually fighting back against tipping culture itself. They're just hurting the employees that are relying on it. And I think a lot of it doesn't, I don't think it comes down to malice. I don't think they're doing that to just be like, fuck you to the service industry workers. I really think that they believe by not tipping, the restaurant is going to change its policy. But it's probably not, unfortunately. Most of these fucking restaurants will sooner pay their workers in knuckle sandwiches than they will in raising their salary. And there's a lot more nuance to it. Like, I'm just giving you like bare bones, surface level shit here. Like, I haven't even begun to talk about the establishments that pay out a portion of their tips across all of the employees. Like, it gets so messy, and there are so many underhanded tactics to exploit these workers. It's a fucking issue. Anyway, though, back to the video that started this whole rant. I want to show you from the owner's perspective on the CBS interview.
Telling us he followed a regular into the street, intending to tell him never to come back after leaving without tipping again.
Have you watched the video?
Yes.
And when you watched it, what did you see there?
Ashamed. I was just ashamed, bringing shame to my wife as a husband, as an owner, at the same time, to my mom and dad.
So according to the owner here, this was a customer that's a regular at the establishment, and he had finally had enough, so after he didn't tip again, he followed him outside, intending to just say, don't come back, kind of like shake his fist at him, and stay out, and that kind of thing. But it obviously spiraled more out of control than that and blew up in a much bigger way, which ignited a huge debate online about tipping. Because tipping is a very controversial topic. People feel very strongly, especially people that have been in the industry before. And while there definitely are cases where people don't tip just to be an asshole, I really do think there is a lot of confusion around how tipping even like works, that people think by not doing it, they're going to help be like a catalyst for change at that business, where they'll realize that the tips aren't coming in, so it's losing the business money, thus they're going to change their policy to actually pay their workers a livable wage, and then they won't be, you know, forced to rely on strangers to cover their expenses. But that's, again, just not going to happen in the majority of cases because it doesn't hurt the actual business owner. What's supposed to happen is if they don't reach minimum wage, like if they don't get enough tips to reach that, the business is supposed to cover it. That rarely happens. There are so many workarounds that these businesses pull, so many like backdoor hand job reacharoos that they are able to squeak out of not actually covering that. So it doesn't ever hurt the business itself. It only hurts the worker. And I really think there's a large number of people that don't understand that, but even understanding that, there are people that just can't afford to pay an extra 20% on top of what they've already just paid. And I see a lot of people regurgitating this take that's becoming very common. If you can't afford to tip, you can't afford to eat out. Okay, fair enough in something like Uber Eats or like fine dining or something. Okay, you can make that argument, I suppose. But it doesn't work for everything because there is no cheap ways of eating anymore, really. Even something like fast food is not that cheap. A McDonald's meal, it's not $1 anymore, sports fans. It's a handful of clams. And grocery shopping is pretty fucking pricey too. It's expensive. Like, it is hard to pay an extra 15 to 20% consistently on top of things that you're already paying for when you're eating. Like, I just don't fully agree with that take.
Bro, you about to blow up on social media, bro.
When asked why he didn't tip, the customer told people online, "Oh, I just didn't want to." Cho tells us the customer's brother has since come in, describing their conversation as productive.
I apologized to him and to his family, and I was asking if he can pass this message along to his little brother.
Adding he sent the brother home with the customer's favorite order, a handwritten apology and an offer.
My door's open for you, man. You know, come on by anytime.
Now, while I do think that response of, "oh, I just didn't want to," is pretty douchey, again, he doesn't have to. And I really do think it shouldn't be expected that every single person does tip, because that's just the reality of it. It is 100% an issue that needs to be addressed on like the actual business front. And it's why there's so many people that study tipping itself and are trying to brainstorm how to improve it and get rid of it to certain extents, because it is a terrible fucking system that nobody else in the world really uses, and in a lot of other cultures is actually viewed as insulting. So, like, it is something that does need changing. 100%. Now, in the case of this business owner here, he really seems remorseful. Like, he really does seem like he's trying to make amends. It does seem like maybe he was just having, like, a really fucking bad day, and not getting that tip meant that one of his workers wasn't going to receive, like, the full pay they should have, so he snapped and did this, and he seems embarrassed by it. So, I'm of the belief that he does regret it and that this is going to be an experience that he won't be repeating or anything like that. But that statement he made during the argument, "how is my staff supposed to make a living without tips?" Paraphrasing a bit, but that was the essence. It speaks volumes to just how poisonous tipping has become, where the business owner himself cannot even grapple with the idea of paying his employees a livable wage because it's such an accepted and expected business practice of paying them sub-minimum wage, literal tiddlywinks of dollars, because it's the customer's responsibility to take care of the rest. That's just crazy to me. It blows my mind. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's it. So yeah. Fasten your seatbelts. It's time for a good old-fashioned, red-blooded, American, patriotic public freakout. This one takes place on a golf course.
We got a Karen on the golf course right now.
You'll leave after I don't give you a goddamn thing.
I'm gonna take your clubs.
He seems like a character from Mad Men. Like, he is smoldering right now. That is mean mugging. And then he holds up the golf ball like he's about to do a magic trick with it to make it disappear. So, From what I understand here about this situation is this group was golfing, and this gentleman, which I can't say that word because he is not a gentleman at all. He's not conducting himself in an appropriate manner for the golf course, which is a holy sanctuary of good manners and some light day drinking. He has picked up their ball and refuses to give it back. I don't really know why. Maybe he's out of balls and he resorted to just scavenging for one, maybe. But he has their ball. They're confronting him saying like, hey, give that back. And he's saying, nope. There's just already so much information here to digest and marinate on. Now, one of the members of this party that had their golf ball stolen by the gluttonous golfer threatens to take his golf clubs in return, which I imagine they were just saying out of, jest and making fun of him. But you have to be cautious because clearly this man is resorting to caveman brain. He's going primal right now. He's not processing information rationally. So he might take that as a declaration of war, like a legitimate threat. If you're talking about taking someone's golf clubs, you're basically threatening to take their firstborn child to some of these golfers out here. So you just gotta be wary of the headspace the guy's in right now.
Where you're fucking
Then leave.
I'm not getting a fight at a golf course.
Then leave. I'm gonna stand here and you can complain. Goodbye.
I'm not complaining. You're the one bitching.
No, you're the one that approached me and I asked you to no longer speak.
You took her ball!
Please don't speak to me.
We're coming over.
I'll be honest here, I can't help but appreciate his power stance. The way that he holds himself is actually pretty impressive. It's a legitimate NPC stance. He's got this spiritual pressure that I can taste through the video. So he's drawing a line in the sand. He's saying, I'm not fucking leaving. You can sit here and complain, but I've got your ball and I'm not giving it back. So the Grinch has come out here and stolen Christmas, and he did it all while wearing Steve from Blue's Clues shirt. I love that he's got the green striped shirt on because since I grew up with Blue's Clues, I see a shirt like that and I immediately associate it with like a really nice person, and this guy is wiping his ass with that whole fucking idea. Because this guy is not nice at all. In fact, you know what? I'll say he's a bit of a jerk. Pardon my French.
You took her ball!
Bro, you took her ball.
Dude, I'm not gonna fight you over a
If you need money for her golf balls...
Walter, because I'll plant you, bitch boy. Now get the fuck off the cart.
Walter.
Walter?
Oh, here we go.
You see that?
Oh.
That's what you spin to heaven, bitch, and you wanna test God, you fucking come get it, shit stack.
I'm a little disappointed he didn't rip the shirt off Hulk Hogan style. The fact that he quickly takes it off like it's about to get sensual took away from the impact of the peak male physique reveal. Now shit's starting to pop off. It's about to look like 6th Street in Austin, Texas after the bars closed down. That's a really specific reference, but I think a lot of you understand what I'm talking about. There's this street in Texas with a ton of bars, and every single time the bars close, all the fights just start breaking out outside on that street all the time. Most of the street fights you see on the internet actually come from that area. That's like the genesis of fighting. Like that's where fighting was invented, really. But anyway, let's dial back the clock a little bit. He said something very interesting that caught everyone off guard when he said Walter, and that he would plant him bitch boy. So all at once, the crowd says, Walter? 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 Like, no one knows where that came from. So I believe what happened here is, for a brief moment, this dude traveled to a different dimension, and he was fighting a ghost named Walter. No one seems to know where that came from, but that was finally the last straw there, when he takes his shirt off. Walter was there, and he was ready to fuck him up.
Mentally ill. Oh. Let's move along.
You think I'm mentally ill?
I know you're
Been to heaven. Leave me alone.
So that's the second time he mentioned heaven. So the first time when the shirt comes off, he makes this statement about, this is the body that went to heaven, so if you want to challenge God, then come get it, shit stack. I don't exactly know what a shit stack is. I guess if I was to put the context clues together and use the very obvious, it would be like a piece of poop on a piece of poop on a piece of poop, like a whole fucking tower of it. But who does that? I've never seen a shit stack per se. But what's the most interesting part here is that he keeps mentioning heaven. And I don't exactly know what that's about, but it is pretty intimidating. That gives some psychopath energy. It reminds me of Hey Arnold with the don't hit me, I'll hit me. Like the whole thing being act as crazy as possible to stop a fight from happening. Maybe that was the tactic here, so that way he could have them leave on their own accord and he gets to keep their ball, he gets the treasure, like, you know, maybe it's possible. But yeah, either way, I just found this to be really interesting because it goes 0 to 100 so quick because for some reason he inexplicably takes their ball and refuses to give it back. And it turned into this big song and dance. It just feels like so many people are on edge all the time and are willing to die for things that are super small. It just, I don't know, it's just a wild phenomenon that I'm noticing being very common these days. Also, there's another thing I want to point out. When he takes his shirt off initially, he looks down at himself a couple times, and then when he looks up, he looks almost surprised, as if he didn't know what to expect when his shirt came off there. Maybe, like, it wasn't the same view that he has of his body when he looks at himself in the mirror, so it caught him off guard. I don't really know. But yeah, I just wanted to share this, because it's been a little while since we went over just a good old-fashioned public freakout. That's about it. So yeah. Yesterday, October 7th, 2017 AD. There have been reports of stabbings while waiting in line for the Szechuan sauce. Fights breaking out. Is it worth dying over? You're goddamn right it is. Good boys and girls, they wait in line for super happy saucy time. Good boys and girls, they get no sauce. Time to sue for that time loss. This image is from the Rick and Morty subreddit during the Armageddon on October 7th. This is a call to arms for a class action lawsuit, fundamentally laying out that they have a real case here and everyone jumping on the bandwagon trying to brainstorm how they can sue McDonald's for the poor handling of the Szechuan sauce promotional event. Now, I for one am on their side here. I think they have a real strong case. I think any rational judge and jury will see that McDonald's was at fault and should financially compensate each individual that logged out of Music LY to go to this promotional event. And if they're not going to financially compensate them, at least sauce them. Give them the fucking sauce. It can't be that hard to manufacture. Please give everyone in all of America the Szechuan sauce that we've so rightfully deserved. I believe that's part of our constitutional rights. For the love of God, it was probably a fucking 10th commandment that didn't make it. It was the coveted 11th commandment, thou shalt have Szechuan sauce. Please, just give us the fucking sauce. Otherwise, we're coming for you. We're gonna be suing you, and I have no doubt that we'll win. Since sauce supply was far too low, onto eBay I will go. $400 for creamy yummy? What a great deal for my tummy. Unsurprisingly, a lot of people saw this as an opportunity to make a fast buck, a fast fuck, give me that fat duck, so they started buying the sauce out of the McDonald's and they started selling it on eBay for hundreds of dollars, and this shit is absolutely flying off the shelves for hundreds of dollars, so a bunch of Jerrys out there are spending a ton of money on this sauce. Hats off to them. There's also some craftier folks out there repackaging the sauces like fucking AEY. That's right, I just watched War Dogs last night. There's one hell of a reference for your shit stain out there. So they're repackaging sauces by taking existing sauces like barbecue, bringing it home, taking the top of it off, and then printing out the Szechuan sauce top, and just gluing it on top, selling it for hundreds on eBay, and that's pretty damn smart, honestly. What do you say? The sauce is gone? How'd I fall for this corporate con? Now I'm mad, and now you'll see that I love Rick and Morty! Yeah, so these pseudo riots broke out. Let's go ahead and watch my favorite clip from one of them. Can't stop us now, this is for you. We fight for sauce, that much is true. We are your army, we bring the war. We break down the McDonald's door. So Justin himself had to chime in here to try and bring some peace to this absolute pandemonium. He isn't happy about it. I don't think anyone on the show is happy about it. They're probably pretty fucking embarrassed, feeling like Frankenstein with this fucking monster they've created. And I respect him actually speaking up, trying to say, hey, this isn't cool, take it down a notch. It really just can't be easy for him to see something like this because the show itself makes fun of people that just follow trends blindly and just act like mindless barbarians, and the fans of the show laugh at that kind of joke, but they're doing the same type of shit with this sauce right now. So to see a really good show like Rick and Morty have a fandom that does shit like that, it really just can't be easy for the people who work on it to watch. Now to just bring this all home, here's a clip that really captures the essence of the Szechuan promotional Armageddon in a nutshell.
I I want Szechuan sauce. Where's my Szechuan sauce? I'm Pickle Rick! Woman on the dump dump! I'm Pickle Rick! 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 I'm Pickle Rick! Rick! Rick!
It's sad when it's kind of hard to tell if this is genuine or him just being a parody of what's going on with the Szechuan sauce events, but regardless of what his intention was, the result is absolutely sad to watch. Genuinely, just one of the saddest clips I think I've seen. Even if it is supposed to be a joke, it's just sad. Well, this has been your ESPN 60 for 60 coverage on the Szechuan promotional event. That's it. See ya. What in tarnation? Hilarious motel fight in Plattsburgh, New York. Okay.
That's the fucking government's problem, not mine. That's yours. That's the fucking government's problem.
Alright, I'm listening to a Twitter argument.
Fucking government. Go ahead.
That guy looks like a modern philosopher. You're not winning this one.
Meet you again, knock me the fuck out.
Slap his tits around. Don't let him talk about the government that way. We love the government. Come on, fucking slap him around.
If I lived off my old lady like you did, I'd fucking feel sorry for myself.
Oh, that's a little too far. That's a little too far. Whose side is she on?
Look at my shoes.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, this is a happy ending. You gotta love a happy ending. Dude, this kid must never have been able to show his face on campus again. Oh wait, it's the same guy.